So welcome to another video from theplayersaid.com. My name's Alexander.
And I'm Grant.
And today we are doing our 2023 retrospective.
That's a cool word. I really... Retrospective.
Yeah, well...
I think it's such a cool word. What does it mean again?
It's something of a look back upon...
yes, retro.
Yes.
Looking back.
And having just a kind of a breather at the end of the year to look back upon what we've done, what we've seen, and then look forward also to what we've got coming up in 2024 as well.
I can't believe it's almost 2024.
Yeah, it's kind of wild. It happens every year, where it's like, where did the year go?
Yeah.
I felt like this year that was especially the case. And I don't really know why.
I feel like it's somewhat a condition of us as humans, right? We are very focused on schedules and time, and we go to work, we work for 8 to 10 hours, and we come home. But I do feel like that every freaking year. It's like, whoa, where did the year go? It's August, it's September, it's November. Bam, it's over, and then it starts over again. And then it's cold, and it's dreary, and we can't wait for spring, and then we can't wait for con season.
You're like rushing to get through the first couple of months of the year, and then once those are over, you're like, oh good, now the year can really begin.
Yeah, and then it's over. So, but yeah, retrospective, it's such a cool word. It sounds so sophisticated.
It does, yeah.
Something that an Englishman would say.
Well, we've been doing these for a few years now. I don't even know when we started doing these.
I have no idea.
But I like the opportunity to kind of assess the year as a whole, look back at maybe some larger trends, and just we'll talk about some things we got going on next year as well, which I think is exciting for me. I'm excited for it.
Oh, absolutely!
I think that's some interesting.
Well, I think every year we are always going to have some kind of little event. I think we're going to continue to do Guns of August, although this year that kind of petered out, and I don't remember why.
Well, I think we were all. It ended up being. We were also really busy. August is a terrible time because we have a bunch of cons. Like,
it's true. Yeah, Gen Con, WBC.
Yeah. So
this year it became the Gun of August.
Yeah.
We only played one game.
We played one game, and then I played one solo game. Aces of Valor. For
yeah. I've got that clipped. I need to play it.
Yeah. So it was.
So it was the gun and a half of August. Not even guns. So all right.
But yeah, this year we've got some different ideas going on. But let's 2023. We played I don't know, a lot of games this year, but maybe not quite as many as we have done in the past.
I think we have focused on playing more multiplayer games and more times as we've had friends over and done different events. We've played John Company 3 or 4 times with different groups. We've had our friend Mike from St. Louis who comes over fairly often, and we're playing older. You know, this year we played Imperium Romanum, and we played. What else did we play? I don't remember.
We played Imperium Romanum.
Pericles, we played again with him.
Yeah. Did we do a Pendragon earlier in the year?
Yeah, something. Yeah. I don't know. But I feel like we're focusing more on replaying older games that we really, really enjoy. Yeah. And that's cool. I'm totally good with that, but it has cut into the time of
the new
stuff. And that's fine. I think we're all cult of the new, right? Yes. Everybody loves what's new and what's upcoming, and we look forward to it much like we look forward to the new year coming up. But I don't know. I like new games, but I also want to play some older games that we haven't played. I want to look at games that we've liked and want to play again.
Yes.
Like, we've played Pericles at least a couple of times this year.
Yes.
And that's awesome because I love that game.
Yeah. It's kind of like you said, as a function of what we do, where we're trying to play and review new games and put those out there for people so that they know what they're getting themselves into.
Yeah.
That typically means we don't get to revisit games that we love as often as we like. And that's one of the great shames of what we do. Because there is only so much time.
And we could just quit it and we could just start playing games that we want to play.
We could.
That's the announcement for 2024. No, just kidding.
But I think we did a better job this year of trying to take advantage of those opportunities and get those in at maybe a convention here or there or an extra weekend where it was like, well, let's play some of the stuff that we've done before.
Yeah.
You know, like you said, Pericles a couple of times, Fire in the Lake a couple of times, John Company.
We even played that Hegemony game a couple of times.
Yes.
And that was a fun game. I really enjoyed it. Not a war game, but a cool asymmetric, almost coin-like game. But Yeah, and we still have played. I'm the records keeper.
Yes.
And I keep kind of the list of the games that we've played, and we've still played 25 new games.
Which is
a lot.
One every 2 weeks.
It is.
On average, right?
When you think about it, that's pretty insane. And I know that we will still continue playing 2023 games probably till the end of February, maybe.
Yeah.
We've got about 6 that we really want to play. Unfortunately, we just can't play them all.
Yeah, there comes a point where the time is like, okay.
Yeah, we got to move on. But yeah, 2023 was a great year. The only problem that I had was I missed WBC because of my illness.
Yes.
And that's okay. I got 1 day in and had a great day. Actually, half a day. I was only there half a day. And then it was Chunderfest, and then in the hospital for 3 days, where you went and gamed without me.
I did, and it was wonderful.
It hurt. And you know what? I was laying there. I didn't even know. I didn't even care. I was out of it.
That sucks.
But that was the worst part. But other than that, I've had a great year. We've done some good conventions.
Yeah.
We've went some new places. We've met some new people. And frankly, the 25 or so new games that we've played have been really good.
Yeah, I think the convention scene this year was interesting because we did some like good old-fashioned favorites, but we also tried some new things at those, and then we did some new stuff too. So let's kind of go through that. The first convention that we go to annually is Basement Con.
Yep.
Which is not a real convention. It's just us getting together with a bunch of friends over a weekend and do it in a friend's basement. And
I have enjoyed that immensely because we get to play big multiplayer games. And I enjoy those guys, right?
Yeah.
Mike and Craig and Nate. I mean, they're just fun.
And typically there's always like 2 big games.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of whatever else we can throw in if we've got time.
And we usually do it for, 3 days? It's like Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And
yeah, typically.
then we come home Sunday, but...
So yeah, this year it was really fun because we were able to go. We made a stop off at
Miniature Market.
Miniature Market. That's what it's called. They got their kind of big warehouse and outlet store there, which it's always fun to go there and do shopping at a really big, well stocked game store.
And they also have a great play area. And this year we actually sat down with one of our friends, Brian. Who we actually met for the first time. We've communicated over Facebook and other mediums, but we played Land and Freedom with him and really enjoyed it. Didn't know what the hell I was doing.
Yeah,
Still
we
not
got
sure.
crushed.
I know what I'm doing with that game, but it's an interesting and unique and fun game. But that was a great experience. We had a great time.
Yeah,
we played Europa Universalis. We played, what was the other big game that we played?
Did we do Here I Stand?
Here I Stand again. And then a couple of it like Pericles and Land and Freedom we got in, but yeah, that was great.
But that was typically the format of that is the Friday and a Saturday. We just pick 2 big games, one new, one kind of old favorite. Mm-hmm. So Here I Stand, and this year I don't know if we might do Virgin Queen or we might do Here I Stand again.
Yeah.
But it's usually something like an old game that we rotate through those, and then like a new big game that typically we've got.
We did like War Room a couple of years ago. We did
Napoleon's Imperium 1 year.
Which was fun. Light, fun game from Compass.
But so we usually get like an old game and a new game in, and then we did a Pericles this year. I think the year before we did a Pendragon. So usually something we can throw in as well. That was really fun. We're going to do that again in 2024.
I think it's in March. He already said it, for the 2nd or 3rd week of March. Right in the middle of basketball season. That's the tournament time. But that's okay. I'm not sure IU's going to make it this year. I don't care as much.
But it is funny. We'll play on the whole day on Saturday, and like at least 2 or 3 people at the table are like this.
Yeah, right. Looking at which I felt. Well, my game was Thursday night, and then it was Friday night and then Sunday. So I didn't have to do that, but it worked out for me.
But it's just
good time.
That's good. And then I think the next thing we did was Buckeye Game Fest.
At the end of April, 1st of May.
And this year we decided to go for a little bit longer than we normally do. Normally we'll do like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then drive home on a Sunday. I think we went on Tuesday.
Yeah, we left our house Tuesday at like noonish. And actually it was like 11:30.
Yeah, and so we decided to do that because the War Room at Buckeye Game Fest is open like
a couple of days longer.
Yeah, like that whole week, whereas just the regular gaming and the events and stuff is Thursday through Sunday. Mm-hmm. And so it was like, well, let's take advantage of that and see what that's like. So we took Unconditional Surrender, which was new to you. I'd played it once before Solitaire, and it's a game, I think it's from like 2015 maybe. Like it's an older game, relatively. And we set that up, played just that for a couple of days, and people started coming in, and we were able to kind of show Bill and Russ, and they were able to kind of play a little, fiddle around with it as well with us. That was really enjoyable, but also that was, for some reason, and I couldn't tell you why, that was extra exhausting by the end of that week.
Yeah, I'm not sure why either, because I felt like I was dead when we...
Yeah.
It's funny because I watched the debrief video. I've watched it or at least once, and we both look like we'd just been beat up. We were doing a video with David Thompson on the very last day, and it just looked like we didn't care. I felt bad.
Can't get words out.
It was weird, but
yeah, which is funny because I think about something like WBC where we go for a long time and do a lot of stuff,
right?
And it's less that way.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think we slept as well.
Yeah,
we went to bed later, got up earlier.
Which was a shame.
But had a good
it was
time.
Really good. We did a lot of cool stuff. We did an RPG event there. We did our Coin and Teach events there.
We played some miniatures.
Yeah, so we did lots of like a variety of new, different things there as well. That was cool to do.
I feel like the best thing I did there though was the Outpost 51, the thing.
Oh yeah.
On Saturday night, it was a blast. We also played Quartermaster General World War I. I really enjoyed that.
That was really good. Yeah.
I played 4-player Undaunted with David Thompson, Russ, and Jordan, I think. Had a great time. So you were setting up minis. I felt bad, but I was going to play a game.
But yeah, that was a really enjoyable time.
And I want to call out Blue Panther, who helped us go. They sponsored us a little bit. And we've actually been invited back this year. We got an email from Kristen from Buckeye Game Fest, so we were going to go anyway.
But we're going to do, I don't think we're going to do the Tuesday.
I think we'll leave Wednesday at noon, and that'll be good enough something. Or Wednesday after work.
Like I was exhausted like a week after that. Yeah. And I can't explain why.
I agree. I felt the same thing.
So that was Buckeye Game Fest. Was the next thing that we did WBC?
It was, yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, I think the summer was regular summer activities, lots of regular gaming, and then we did our faux Guns of August event.
Yeah, we played one game.
Yeah. But we went to WBC. Unfortunately, you were sick for that.
Yep.
There's all sorts of videos from there as well.
Yep.
I was able to get in a lot of gaming with that, met a lot of people, met a lot of our patrons from our Patreon.
There were some people from Australia that were there.
Yes.
Can't remember their names.
It was Tim. And Tim's dad, Mr. Tim. Very sorry about that.
Good people.
And then Will. Will is the John Company enthusiast, and he taught me that. He taught everyone at the table that. But his teach of that was so good and so proficient that I was able to kind of pick it up immediately. We played it twice, and then I've been able to teach that a couple of times.
Did he teach you how to make rolls, though? Like,
no.
When you need the roll, like you're rolling 3 or 4 dice and you have like a 70% chance, did he teach you how to be successful? Okay.
I did appreciate that right off the bat in our very first game, he was wheeling and dealing.
Okay.
And that just kind of set the tone for that and what that's supposed to look like.
Yeah.
Because I think if an experienced person doesn't do that, it would be quite easy to sit at that table and not get into that kind of stuff.
Yeah, because you just aren't sure what you're really...
especially...
what you should be negotiating about. I felt the same way about Here I Stand. I remember our first couple of times with large groups, I didn't really know what to negotiate about. Yeah. Now I know. Like I'm like,
the value of things and what my position is respective to everyone else. That was, he was wonderful at teaching that. I'll forever be in debt to him because that's one of my favorite games now.
We've played it 3 or 4 times since then. Yeah. And it's a blast.
And it was excellent. But and again, WBC was a time to play lots of favorites. I played Charioteer a bunch, we played John Company, played Here I Stand, Pericles, Pendragon, Fire in a Lake. So lots of stuff that we love, and those are kind of convention staples for us because they sit lots of people. A lot of those are like games that people complained about not being able to get people to the table with the people at the table. Let's play it. But I still was able to play a bunch of new stuff there as well.
Well, you played Twilight Struggle Red Sea, I think.
Yes, Barracks Emperors.
Barracks, which we still have not played.
No.
It's not really a war game. It's more of a trick-taking historical game.
Yeah.
But I still want to play it. Doesn't mean I don't want to play it. There it is right there.
Yeah, on the shelf.
Emperors.
And I played what was the other? I played a British Way, People Power.
Yeah.
But, you know, was able to get some new stuff in, played some old stuff, replayed lots of things, so that was really cool. And then, gosh, like the next week was Gen Con.
Yeah, literally. And we went for one day only. Yeah. We just went for Saturday, but had a good time.
Yes.
We did some perusing of the vendor hall. We talked to some people and went to dinner with Jason Matthews and Darren Leveloff at Giordano's.
Yes.
That was pretty fun.
And they had... Darren Leveloff had his new editions of...
Which I've played.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Habsburg Eclipse and Ottoman Sunset.
Yep.
I've played the first version.
Nigh unwinnable.
Oh, yeah.
I have played Habsburg Eclipse probably 10 times. Haven't even come close.
I think that one's more difficult.
It is extremely difficult. Now, Ottoman Sunset, I actually won once. I got every roll I needed, I felt like. I made all the right decisions. And the cards just came up in a good order. I was able to deal with what came up. Now they've added a sticker to it because there was an errata. I've added that sticker to the board. I have yet to play it again, but I think it's going to make it even that much harder to win. So I may never win that one again as well. But those are great solitaire games in that States of Siege series line.
And those particular ones, they're really nicely produced as well.
They're beautiful. From Tabletop Tycoon, what's the other? Oh, and Victory Point Games.
Yeah. But like the production of those is on par with the Worthington States of Siege games.
Yes, except the cards are too small. The writing on the cards are like miniature. And I obviously need glasses.
Is it because they're crammed with text?
Not really. I felt like they had room on them. But I'm telling you, they're hard for me to read. But I need a magnifying glass.
Yeah.
But they're great games. So anyway, we talked to Darren and Jason. That was fun. Had a good time. We bought some new stuff.
That was the first time I'd met Jason. I think you'd already met him once before.
I had lunch with him when my wife and family and I were in Washington, D.C. I had lunch with, this was last year, but Jason Matthews, Kevin Bertram from Fort Circle, Sebastian Bay. That was a blast. I had a great time with that. But anyway, that was the second time. Old hat. I know Jason.
But that was fun to meet him.
Good guy. He's a good dude. Except he wears a sport coat everywhere he goes.
Yeah.
And I always want to go up to him. I want to go, just take that off, dude. Just take it off. Like I saw him at San Diego Historicon having it on. I'm like, dude, I'm hot. And I had a freaking t-shirt on. I know you're hot. I know you are. Because it was hot in that building. It was hot.
Yes, it was.
Lots of people. Anyway. But yeah, Gen Con was fun. Had a good time. One day. One day only.
Yeah. Which I think...
I'm good with one day only sometimes.
Yeah, because we go there to go shopping. That's the reality of it. We go shopping and to like see stuff. And
now, if the gaming comes back where wargamers want to get together, I would want to go for 1 or 2 more days because we get to play big games.
Yeah.
But
it's just the following weekend after WBC, and that's...
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
But that was fun. Had a good time.
Always liked doing that. And then we also played Twilight Struggle Red Sea that day as well.
We did, yeah.
Gen Con,
and then we came to my house,
that, and then went back out
to
for
dinner. And that was a blast.
Yeah.
Great. That is a great game.
Yes, very, very, very good.
Very different than Twilight Struggle, yet feels similar.
Yes.
So very, very good, though.
And then I think, so after that, was it in at the very last week of September that we went to Noble Night? What was it?
Yeah, it was like the last week of September, 1st of October. If you remember, my brother passed.
Yeah, so it got pushed.
And it got pushed a week, so that was the end of September.
Yeah. And that was a really cool trip. We drove up on a Friday, and then just stayed overnight. So we were there kind of Friday afternoon, evening, and then Saturday morning and afternoon, and then drove home that Saturday evening. It was cool because we were able to meet all the guys up at Noble Night Games. If you know our channel, they sponsor our monthly debriefs, and they have a big sponsorship on our blog as well. And we're very grateful for their support. But it's also fun to work with a company whose services I have utilized a number of times.
Yeah,
we buy all the time from them. And I've sold a number of games to them. We drove a truckload
it was pretty fun.
of games up there and kind of offloaded them.
Didn't we? It was almost 400 games.
It was 200 games.
200 games.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But it was like that's filled up a significant portion of the car.
Yeah.
We had to put the seats down and put everything. It was great
It
fun.
was fun though. That was fun. That was a good experience. We got a lot of store credit, and I think we've already spent a good amount of it on other games, which is hilarious to me.
But
It's the way it is.
Oh yeah. But then it was great to meet those people who, again, we've communicated through
And play some
emails
games with them.
and stuff. Yeah, played some games. We played a Time of Crisis and Charioteer as well.
And that was really it, because we had some other games, but there weren't as many people showed up for
Yeah,
us.
because we delayed it.
Because I think but there were half a dozen or so, but they were coming and going.
But it was also fun to see their storefront as well.
Oh, it was great. We spent a lot of time there.
Yeah.
And money.
And it's, a lot of the game stores around Indy don't have a lot of war games in them.
One or two.
At best.
Yeah.
And so it's fun going to a place like Noble Knight Games where they have a significant war game section.
Two whole shelves of war games, which is cool.
Some new stuff, some old stuff. That's fun. It's fun to browse that.
Well, plus they've got a warehouse full of war
which
games.
they were very gracious to let us peruse.
That was fun.
It was,
and we bought some. I bought Pax Romana,
Yes.
right? And you bought,
I bought Austerlitz from the gamers.
which we need to play both.
Yeah.
But we'll get it. We'll get them in a convention sometime.
So that was a really fun experience, and thanks
Yes.
to all the people at Noble Knight Games, both for their sponsorship and for being very gracious hosts to us as well.
Well, it confirmed to me, we've partnered with them now. This will be our third year? Second year.
Yeah, because I think
We've done the third
like
season of the
March.
monthly debrief. I think it's been 2 years. And we partnered with them. They sponsored us. We've assisted them in marketing and doing some other things. And it was really cool. It confirmed the reason that we came together. They're just good people.
Yes.
And I think that's important to me. I want to associate with good people, be associated with good people, have good friends, and they are that.
Yes.
100%.
And then I think
That was fun.
It was a really
Enjoyed
good
it.
time.
Even the drive up and back, it was, 4 hours?
It was
4 and a half.
5, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun. We did a couple car videos, which we like doing. We got lost one time and ended up in downtown Gary, Indiana. Shots fired. Yeah, but anyway, good time.
Yeah, and then I think the last big thing that we did that was quite spur of the moment, in a way, was we went to San Diego Historicon.
Yep.
That's not what it's called.
Yep, in November, early November.
Yes.
And that was awesome.
Yeah.
Other than the flight troubles we had,
Which we believe,
yeah, we always seem to, I don't know what it is, but we always seem to have some kind of trouble with that.
Lessons were learned
Yeah.
about how, when, and who to book with and through.
Yeah, I don't believe we will ever use beep beep again.
Yeah, no. It was...
Notice I beep 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 their name out.
Yeah, we tried to use a budget airline. Don't do that.
Don't
But
do it.
basically...
Because they changed our flight when we were like in the air going to the place.
Yeah, it was...
And it's like, okay, what the hell are we going to do?
And they changed the flights so that they were like...
Like our flight left in San Diego before the other flight even...
Yeah.
It was just insane.
But
And I thought to myself, what?
the trip itself was really, really good once we were there.
Oh, yeah. And actually, I had a good time traveling out because we always make a good time of whatever we're doing.
Agreed.
But the gaming there was fantastic. We played 11 games in basically
2.5 days?
2.5 days. And not even 2.5. It was really more like 2 days. But we played 11 games. 11 games. Another John Company. We played multiple prototypes that were utterly fantastic.
Yes.
We've got a whole debrief on it.
Oh, yeah. And a lot of different interviews from designers who were there.
Met some great people, Jason Matthews, Kevin Bertram, Harold Buchanan was very gracious. Natalie from the Netherlands, Wojciechowski. I'm not going to butcher her name. She is fantastically nice.
One of the smartest people I've ever met.
Oh,
as well.
yeah, she was pretty fun to talk to. And then, guys like Dan Bullock and Joe Schmidt and Jason Wolanowski. I mean, there were just so many good people there. Now, I've named Sam London. We met Gene Billingsley from GMT for the first time, and Rachel Billingsley. Cole Worley and Drew Worley were there. David Thompson, Liz Davidson, who we'd never met before. Dan Thoreau, Space Biff. That was fun. Maurice Suckling. That was fun.
Candace Harris was
Candace
there.
Harris. I could go on and on because there were so many great people that we... Ingen Kunter.
Matthias Kramer.
Yeah, it was just so good.
Yeah,
And it was fun.
It was wild because everyone there was someone.
Yeah, Kai Jensen.
I've never been in a space like that where it was very small and you recognize everyone.
Yeah.
And it's like you recognize them from the front of a box or from a game they designed.
Or videos.
A video or a company or something that they've done.
And then on top of that, all the content creators that were there.
Yeah.
Grant from Pushing Cardboard. Great name, by the way. Zilla Blitz. I'm not going to use his name because I don't know if he uses his. I just don't.
Zilla Blitz was there.
Yeah, Zilla Blitz was there. Hissy Cat Studios was there. Good dude. Who else? I'm drawing blanks, but there were a bunch of people there. It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was. Had a great time. Really had a great time.
Yeah.
I want to go again. We definitely
Yes.
are going again. We are planning how to go again next November, and even planning how our wives can come with us.
Yes.
Not that they would come to the wargaming with us. But
Although I think they would.
they probably will at least
they'd make an appearance.
for a little bit, and then maybe we could do some stuff afterwards while we're there.
Yeah.
But I would recommend San Diego Historicon in a heartbeat, particularly if you live on the West Coast, because it's going to be easier to get there. There is no reason. 180 people showed. 150, 140. Very small, very cozy, very comfortable. Lots of great games.
And they do lots of like extra ancillary stuff as well. So
Yeah.
like they do like this big seafood buffet lunch that you can get a ticket for and go to.
Yep.
Or like there's like a
game
coffee
auction.
with Harold in
Yep.
before the con starts. And they do it like tons and tons of seminars and things.
We were one of those
which
seminars.
are these like
Which was fun.
They're like small little cute affairs and
Yeah.
they would that was really enjoyable.
Oh,
So
yeah. No doubt.
yeah, there's so much stuff to do on top of just the gaming,
Yes.
which there is.
And San Diego's like a paradise. It was 70 degrees, 75 to 80 the whole
Yeah,
time.
in November.
Beautiful on the seaside. Good food. I'll tell you, Miguel's was one of the best Mexican restaurants I've ever eaten at.
It was very good.
Very much enjoyed that taco place we went to, the Taco Shack or the
The taco shop.
taco shop.
Whatever.
It was good. We appreciated Harold for driving us around for half a day. We went to the USS Midway. We saw not the Acheron. The Acheron was the French vessel they were chasing, but the
HMS Surprise.
HMS Surprise from Master and Commander.
Yeah.
We saw that there and saw a lot of other things. It was very fun. I had a great time. I
Yeah,
literally loved it. The only problem we had was our flights.
Yeah,
Going and coming, which was funny.
Yeah.
But
So-
whatever.
Yeah, that sucked. But
And we sat in Denver for what, 4.5 hours?
yeah.
That was terrible.
It was a really good convention though. So if you're anywhere local to that,
yeah.
very highly recommend going. Because
It's just great.
because it's kind of a San Diego's like the furthest you can possibly go.
Yeah,
southwest.
it's pretty hard.
So
hard to get there.
It was a trek for us, but it is a trek that I would make again because we had such a good time.
And we're already planning on that.
Yeah. So I think that was all the big kind of conventions. Again, we'd have people over here, played some big multiplayer games and things
Yeah.
like that. That was also enjoyable. I'm very grateful to everyone who takes time out of their lives to come and play big games with us. And we're like,
Yep.
we need to play this game.
Yeah.
It might be terrible, but can you try? That's
And they're willing and they try.
That's a sacrifice, and I appreciate all
Yeah.
that.
And we'll continue to do that. I mean, we have kind of a group of 8 or 10 people, and there's others that live nearby, and we want to include them. But yeah, we'll continue doing that. One thing I want to talk about briefly before we go to the next topic was some of the games that we have played this year have just been so damn good.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of, there's been some amazing Hex Encounter war games that we have played. I mean, Traces of War from VUCA is just so delicious. I know you have played On to Richmond 2.
And it was amazing.
We're going to play that today a little bit. It's under here.
And we're going to play that as soon as this camera's on.
That looks amazing. Ardennes 2 was fantastic. Really hardcore Hex Encounter. We've got North Africa 41 we still need to play. We're going to play. It's up there on the shelf.
Right there.
I just saw it, clipped and ready to go. But some of the games we have played have just been fantastic. Now, on the side of that, some less or non-traditional war games, things like Land and Freedom, John Company, that we've talked about Halls of Hegra. These are like they're war game adjacent. They're not necessarily directly war games, but man, they are great little games.
Yeah.
That I have just enjoyed immensely. We played Iron Blood, Snow and Mud about a month ago. Really enjoyed that. It's not a traditional hex encounter war game. It uses hex encounters, but it
plays very
a
differently,
little
though.
chess-like and abstract, but it's so very good. We finally got to play the Russian campaign, which is a hex encounter game, but I have really enjoyed the rise of those new, I'm going to call them war game adjacent, historically focused games.
Yes.
And there's a ton of them out there that I want to acquire and play.
Well, and on top of that, I think about San Diego Historicon. How many did we play there?
Well, we played 11 total games. We played Lenin's Death from Matthias Kramer. That was a great game.
Yeah.
Card driven. We played The Promised Land, card driven by Matthias. That is a fantastic game. I don't want to say who it's going to, but I think I know. But my guess is it's probably a next year game because of what's going on.
Peace 1905.
Oh my gosh.
Was probably my favorite game we played.
That is such a very cool
That's
bluffing card game based on the 1905 peace conference discussions between
Japan and Russia.
Yeah, just so interesting.
But there's like
Night Witches was another one that we played from David and Liz. Solitaire, very cool.
And
there's just a bunch.
No, it's not What We Do in the Shadows. That's a TV show.
In the Shadows.
In the Shadows.
Dan Bullock, Joe Schmidt.
Like these.
I can't remember the other. Is it Chris Matthews? No, it's not Chris Matthews. Chris Bennett.
But like we played a lot of those types of games where it's like they're either non-traditional war games or they're just historical games that are war game adjacent. So they have these historical themes on them that might have a relation to military history or geopolitics. And some of those things is so good. And I agree in that I feel like there is a rise in those kinds of games that we can then use as like an educational tool in a classroom setting.
But Votes for Women is another example of that. I think technically that's a 2023 game. I think we got our copy a little bit ahead of everyone at the end of last year and played it and did a video, but
I don't remember.
I believe it's a 2023 game.
If it's a 23, then it's right up there.
That is a great game. It really is. I'm not sure what the hate for it is. Why is that about wargamers?
Does it get hate?
Oh, hell yeah, it gets hate. People talk about it all the time. Why are we doing a game on... Oh, shut up.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan and a believer in war is not just shooting. I know we have a difference of opinion.
Yeah. That's not what we're doing.
But war can be ideological. It can be spiritual. It can be any number of things, and you can lump those together. Votes for Women is a fight for the right of the women that we love in our lives to have the right to be equal to us men. I believe in that. I'm sorry. If that turns you off, that my wife is just as good, if not better. She's way better than me, frankly. But why are we upset about that? I just don't get it. Yeah. I love my mother. Do you love your mother?
I do, yes.
Do you think anything bad about your mother? Do you think that she's lesser than you or that she's your servant or what the hell?
Is that how people are mad about that game? Okay,
I've read a lot of stuff online.
I really try to avoid that kind of thing because I don't need that negativity in my life.
I like to read it because I want to think about it, but there's a lot of that out there. There really is. People rolling their eyes, and it's a great game. How many times have we played it on Rally the Troops now?
I think I'm up to 10 games.
Yeah, I think you and I have played 3. We're in our 3rd right now. I've played another 6 or 7. I get my ass kicked all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but it is fun.
It's very difficult as the suffragists.
Well, but I'm having trouble as the opposition now.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I love that game though.
Yeah, I do.
Because the rule set is so clean and clear.
Well, it's a simple game. It's not overly complex.
No, but there are companies who would mess that up.
Sure.
And they just did a really good job.
They did.
You just like play the card, do what it says, or do one of these 3 actions, and each of which are very clear and simple.
It's a card-driven game, so it's you do what's on the card, right? Or you discard the card to do, like you said, a campaigning, a lobbying, or a
organizing,
or which you get buttons. I never do that. Maybe that's my problem.
It might be.
Buttons are good, but you only get one button per campaigner you got out there. And as the opposition, I only ever have one dude out.
Yes.
Because that other damn dude doesn't come out for me
it's
until
on
round 5 and
6.
6. Yep. And I'm just like, anyway.
But
I suck at it. I just suck. I just suck.
I love that game.
Oh, it's fantastic.
You know, it's just one of those election-style area control
That's
games.
an apt description of it, yeah. Election style, although it's not an election necessarily. But
no, but mechanically it's almost identical to something like 1960, right?
Sure.
Where
very, very true.
Putting the cubes in the air. And I've always liked that style of game.
Yeah.
Because in my brain, it's a dudes on a map game, where that's what we used to play all the time before we ever got into wargaming as well anyway.
Right.
And so I really enjoy those, and it's great.
It's very good.
And the digital implementation
is very good.
Really helps.
That's another thing we need to talk about on our list.
Let's talk about it now.
So anyway, the rise of those historically adjacent games. I mean, I'm thinking, Shores of Tripoli and what's the new one upcoming? The Halls of Montezuma they're just such good and interesting games, and they're well produced, and they're cool, and they're beautiful. Orange Shall Overcome is another one that I'm very interested in. The Dutch resistance in World War II.
Yes.
I think that one's more of a game, if you know what I'm saying, but I'm still damn interested in the thing.
Well, and thematically, I think it's very interesting too.
But it's not out yet. I know they've had some trouble and delays with Kickstarter, but that's an example of those. I'm so grateful for those kind of games as well. I will always sup from the cup of Hex Encounter games. I love them, but I do want to, from time to time, have a change of pace and do a historical game.
And you can often stick those on the end of a game.
Yeah, we've played 6 hours. Let's just whip this thing out for 90 minutes. We have Total Domination over there that I would like to discuss playing today, by the way, because we need to get it reviewed. But that's a 90-minute game, right? It's kind of like Iron Blood, Stone and Mud, another 90-minute game. Small, quick, fun, interesting, historic, good. Good game. Good
game.
Good game. Okay, so we already talked about number 1. Let's talk about the rise of the smaller publishers that we have seen. And we're going to offend someone.
Oh,
I know we're going to, and that is not our intent. So if we bring you up in this list, please wear it as a badge of honor and understand that we're discussing your game. So that's great, right?
So I think what we are trying to mean by this is that, and maybe it's over the last few years, like 2 or 3 years.
I would say the last 2 or 3 years.
I think, or I have perceived, that there has been a widening of the pool of wargame publishers out there. Mm-hmm. And a lot of these companies, often in different parts of the world, some of them are in the US, are kind of popping up, putting out some games. Sometimes they do it through crowdfunding and Kickstarters, sometimes they do it themselves through pre-orders. But I really felt like in 2023 that some of those companies who have been coming to the fore have really cemented themselves within wargaming as not just like a one-trick pony.
Right. Good, solid. When we mention some of these names, you're going to be like, oh yeah, they make good games. And that's what I think they have done for themselves. They've worked hard. They've made good products. And the reality is, if you can make one good game, it's very hard to make a second good game.
Yeah,
but most of these publishers we're going to discuss, or at least mention, have done that. They've kind of made 2 or 3 good hits. So who are some that you go ahead?
Well, so and it's it's not, these aren't like 2023 companies, but these are companies where I think at this point in their little journeys have really made that leap to establish themselves.
2 to 4 years, they become a name that we are talking about.
So think about a company, we've already mentioned some of their games, Full Circle Games, right?
Yes.
They've done 2 games.
Well, they have published 2 games, but they've got so many other games in the works. They just did a successful Kickstarter for Halls of Montezuma.
Yep.
And they're doing a 2nd edition Kickstarter for Votes for Women, in case you didn't know. It's on Kickstarter now. But they've got so many other games in the pipeline.
But they've had that first initial game that was a success, the second one, which is a massive success, and they're both of the same quality productions.
Oh yeah.
And the service from them is really good. So I'm much more confident going forward that they will continue that.
Yep.
And I know that if I'm going to look into one of their games on a Kickstarter, it's not a risk at that point.
Right.
So that
Although
that's,
guano, I'm just not sure. I'm going to reserve judgment on that one.
well, that's a style more than
Right. Yeah, it's no offense. I just like I don't know that that's for me.
But you know,
I will try it.
But you
I
know
will
the production
definitely
quality is
try-
going to be good.
Oh, it's going to be
right?
fantastic. I can't wait to get Halls of Montezuma, which I backed on Kickstarter because it just looks so gorgeous. The map looks great. The pieces look amazing. I know the game's going to be good because I liked Shores of Tripoli. It was fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
Looking forward to that. But yeah, Fort Circle, they even now have a convention. We're going to try to go to that this year. We're going to try desperately, aren't we?
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, we've been invited.
We've talked about it.
And I really
that's
want to
right,
go.
yeah.
We've
really
been
did talk
invited.
about
I
it.
really want to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, Fort Circle is one that I think has come to the fore and are now a player.
Yes.
And Kevin will tell you, I don't know that that's his goal. Right? He just wants to make some fun games and help some designers get some games out. I don't think he's trying to be successful because Kevin's already been successful in life.
Yeah.
And he's a good dude, although he kicks my butt on Rally the Troops and I don't like him.
Yeah.
I sent him a message last night. I'm like, dude, you just crushed me. And he's like, yeah. He doesn't say anything. He doesn't really say anything else. I'm like searching for, yeah, but you played good, Grant, or
Give me something.
yeah, nothing. Yeah, I killed you. Okay, great, Kevin. Let's play again something. But
Yeah,
Nice guy.
that's like an example of what we're talking about. Someone out of Germany, we got VUCA Simulations, for example.
Yes.
Now, we talk about like small wargame companies. They've got a lot of games. They have really kind of, from that very first game, which was it Crossing the Line?
Aachen Crossing the Line. Yep.
From like 3 or 4 years ago.
Yep. And that's when they were Führer Teutonicus, and they've since
Rebranded very quickly.
changed their name.
But like, they had that, and then they had Crisis of Frederick II, and then they
I didn't like that game, though. That was one game I was disappointed by.
It was too long.
I thought it was too long for what it was, and I thought the first couple of turns could have just been cut off and put us near the end. But
Yeah, it was.
that was one I didn't like, but it was beautiful.
But the production value was great.
It was a cool little game. I just thought it was too long.
But then they have really exploded over
Oh my
the last, especially this year and late last year. They're putting out a lot of different games.
I think now they have damn near 10 published games.
I
Eight
think
or
it
10.
might be more than that.
Yeah, it's insane.
Like they've really, really stepped it up.
Yep.
And their production value is excellent.
They actually, I think, I'm going to say it, they are the best production in wargaming right now.
That is not an unfair statement.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
even better than GMT. And I think GMT needs to maybe look towards. I'm just because I love GMT, but I'm going to say it.
Okay, how
Their
about this?
production's amazing.
I think VUCA's amazing production is more consistently amazing because I think there's a lot of GMT games
Sure,
out there
that are really good.
that really rival.
But every game coming out.
Yes,
I mean,
especially now.
Knock Paris is just gorgeous.
Donnerschlag,
Donnerschlag, gorgeous. Traces of War, utterly gorgeous. I can't name a game that they have that's not. The Bismarck, gorgeous.
Yeah,
They're just awesome.
Is it Task Force?
Yeah, we've got that
I
one. We need
played
to
it,
play
I've
that.
nosed through it, and
Yeah.
again, it
It's
looks stunning.
gorgeous.
They're great art styles.
And
things.
more so than just a pretty face, those games have a lot of depth. I'm telling you, Donnerschlag and Traces of War are utterly amazing war games. They are very, very good.
Yes.
Very good. So, yeah, VUCA. Thanks for all the work that you guys do. I really appreciate it, and I look forward to the stuff that they've got coming out. They've got some really cool. I saw they have a Cold War, nuclear war, Twilight Struggle style game that they're working on. The guy contacted me, provided me the rules. I'm going to do an interview with him. So they got stuff coming out. They got stuff coming out. Looks great.
I think.
Who else?
Well, another thing that I think is very interesting is we've got the companies like Assault Games.
Yep, out of Germany.
Where that they've got their one game line, which is their tactical series that they're doing, and then Sound of Drums, who have put out a few different games.
Yep.
At this point, I think still not very many. They did that tri-pack of games.
Well, they
They just did the Napoleonics one.
Yeah, Eylau, and now they've done the 1793 French Revolution game that's still on Kickstarter or GameFound, whichever one it's on.
So I think those guys are newer and establishing themselves, but they recently signed a cooperation agreement which I think is going to propel both of those companies forward.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited to see what happens
Yeah.
there. Because I think Sound of Drums is going to do the production for Assault games.
Yeah.
And Sound of Drums production is very nice.
Good. Very good.
So that'll,
and not that Assault Games stuff is not nice. Play-wise, their stuff is very good.
Yeah.
Like the chits are very good. They're big. They're readable. They're clear. But Sound of Drums does some beautiful
they might just step that up a notch.
Right.
And, they'll also get some assistance from Assault Games as well in whatever that cooperation looks like. So I'm very curious to see, it's like, watch out for that. Because I think there's something very interesting that's happening there as well.
Yeah. The next one I think is probably going to be offended, but I'm going to mention them anyway. Phalanx. They have really stepped their production game up. The U-boat, which we still haven't
successfully
we have
navigated.
played. We just don't know what the hell we're doing. Still need to learn. But their reissuing of Successors was utterly amazing. That's a great game.
Yeah.
Hannibal and Hamilcar, great game, beautiful. Total Domination, Iron Blood, Snow and Mud. I could go on and on.
Yeah, those guys have been around for a lot longer than some of the other companies
15
we talked
years.
about. But
Freedom was another one that I really liked.
But I feel like those guys, in the last 4 or 5 years, really took it up a notch as well, and have become a much bigger player, especially in Europe. But with things like U-boat and like I said, Successors, Hannibal, Hamilcar.
Purple Haze that's coming. I don't know why it's not out yet, but it's not. We played a prototype. That is amazing narrative style.
And I think there's just a lot of work that's gone into that.
It's
and
just
there's
such
a lot of changes.
game, though.
But they've really kind of set a high bar for themselves and for other companies around them as well, and have really kind of cemented themselves. Like, I know if I buy a game from them again,
it's going to be good.
The component's probably going to be very, very good.
Yep.
And I'm going to get a good, solid game out of it as
Brett
well.
Walda was another one we played that was on Kickstarter from them. Amazing, historically.
Do we have that?
No, it's not. I think it's still in production.
Okay. I feel like I would have known if it was out, but I was like,
I love that game.
That game's amazing.
I thought it was amazing. And it's not a traditional war game. It's like an area control with some cards.
It's a bit more Ameritrash.
But it's history, and I enjoyed it. Man, it was good.
Yeah.
But they have really stepped their game up, made some really great games. Another one I want to bring up, Capstone Games. They are a traditional Euro game, board games. But they have really started over the past, say, 3 years, picking up 1 or 2 historical titles, building a small niche, and carving out a space. First one we played of theirs was Watergate.
Yeah.
Amazing game. Matthias Kramer again, great game, really simple. It's like $30. I mean, and now they've got Match of the Century that we just got, which is it's a card-driven game on the chess match between Bobby Fischer and Spassky, or whatever the guy's name is. I'm butchering it, but that's another example. What else did they do? We played Weimar,
which is a massive Euro game, but it's got that very intense historical theme on it.
Oh, so good too. Yeah. And then Siege of Vienna from Robert Zaleski.
Yeah,
so those are 4 or 5 little games that they're carving that niche out, and I think they're going to keep. They're never going to make 10 historical games a year, is my guess.
Right, and they're not going to make a big Hex and Cannon war game.
No,
but maybe.
Yeah, but 1 game a year, maybe 2. I think that's great. Salt and Pepper is another one that I have become very familiar with because we played The Hunt.
Yes.
By Matthias Kramer. There's a trend there. That was a great game. I really enjoyed that. The Graf Spee, The Hunt, very, very, very good. Great mechanics. The other one we played, or I played from them, Resist, which was on the Spanish resistance in pre-World War II and kind of World War II. Really awesome game. They have another one, Witchcraft. I didn't get into that one because I just wasn't interested in the theme, but they have some really interesting games, and I think they have more coming up. So that's another example of a great little publisher that I think is doing some good work. And Hollandspiel. Hollandspiel's always going to be there. That sounds like a bad thing. They make 8 or 10 games a year, and I feel like their games are just awesome.
And it's what I love about Hollandspiel is you always get something new.
Yes.
You've either never played that theme or you've never done those mechanics in that way.
Yep.
And it's always something that is wildly refreshing and will probably give you a new perspective on something that you may know something about. And I think that's a credit to them.
Their table battles game is just, it's fun.
Yeah.
Right? It's not really a war game, but it is so good, so interesting. They did the dinosaur table battles. They've now done the kaiju table battles. We've played, I'm just thinking the supply lines of the Amrev.
Those was just those are
very
so good.
good.
We did Siege of Mantua last year.
Oh, it's so good. Block war game. I don't think they're ever doing another block war game. But that was a great little game this year.
Well, I was going to say, I've been playing their Field of the Cloth of Gold recently.
Which we need to play that.
I've played 35 games of that. And it is just this very small little abstract game. And
Not a war game.
No. Quite the opposite. And it's very, very, very cool.
Yeah.
In an abstract way, which I normally don't. I'm not super mega into abstracts, but like, again, through a digital implementation, it's able to be like, doo, 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 doo.
Sure.
Some of those games are so tense and frustrating where you're like, oh.
Nice.
Yeah.
But I've been playing this year. I played in Endurance, which was the Shackleton Expedition. Fantastic game. Solo game. And then the Combat Search and Rescue missions, That Others May Live, Vietnam. Another great little solo game. So they're out there. They're always going to be there. I think Amabel and Mary they make good games. And they just do a good job. I hope they stick around forever and keep making 8 or 10 or 12 games a year.
I don't see them going anywhere, and I really hope they don't.
But I think the rise of those small companies is a good thing to see. I think it's broadening the hobby, giving it some depth. And it's no longer just the top three, right? Your GMT, your Compass, your MMP. There's a whole bunch of other people that are below that are driving innovation and interesting mechanics and great productions. And what's that going to do? It's going to float up and push the top three to kind of do more.
Well, and I think that it's an indication that our hobby is continuing to grow and continuing to revitalize itself. But
I thought it was dying. I thought wargaming was dying.
It's been dying
for 30 years.
For 50 years.
50 years.
So I don't want to hear about that no more.
Yeah.
And it's also, I think, in the last 10 to 15 years, where we see things like crowdfunding and digital Kickstarters and online stuff, that community helps to spread and evangelize historical gaming and wargaming.
Yeah.
And also make it easier for these smaller companies to take that risk.
Yeah.
Because you can have some of that money up front. Whereas maybe, back in the 70s, smaller companies were less inclined to do that because you had to put so much on the line.
Right.
And it was harder to get the word out because you'd have to do a newsletter that you mail to people. And I just...
Yeah, now you can literally, at the touch of at the click of a button, you found whatever
thousands
you
and
want.
thousands, millions of people are available through the internet.
And that's cool. And I also think the advent of a lot of, there's a ton of content creators, right? We're one of those in a sea of voices, and that's good. That's a good thing. I will never begrudge others from doing their thing and doing it well, because it just brings more notice to the hobby. And that ultimately is what I think we all want, because that just means more games, better games, more players, more people to meet, more things to experience.
Agreed.
Another aspect we wanted to cover was the youth movement, kind of at GMT, one of our favorite publishers. I don't think that's a secret, right? Is it a secret?
No.
Yeah, I think most people really enjoy GMT, but they're always going to have the stalwarts, right? The Mark Simoniches, who design amazing Hex Encounter war games. Mark Herman, who is amazing, right? They've got those. Gene Billingsley is still making games. They've got those designers in tow. Now they have kind of fostered, and I think they have strategically done this. They have fostered with some of their lines. Volko, how could I forget Volko? He's in there as well. Mark Miklos. There's so many. I need to just shut up. But they fostered that through some of their new series, I think. Coin series, Levy and Campaign series. Those are war games, but they're non-traditional war games. And they are drawing new people, younger people. And I'm talking about guys like Joe Dewhurst, Joe Schmidt, Dan Bullock, Sam London, who we met a couple of weeks ago
Yeah.
at San Diego Historicon. Jason Walanowski, a Pippi designer. I'm sorry. Justin Facino. You know, these are new, fresh faces that have come out. Alex Knight, they have a game with him, Hammer and Sickle. And that's a good thing, right? Those guys are going to be around for the next 30 or 40 years, continuing to push that company forward, continuing to develop and design new games. And isn't that what we, once again, all want?
They've invested heavily in things like GMT1 through Jason Carr as well. And I think they've done it publicly as well, where it's like, hey, we're actually doing some of this stuff that people have been asking for a while.
Right.
Where it's going to help to propel that company forward well into the future as well.
Yeah.
And it's been really fun to see, not the changing of the guard, but the addition of new faces there.
Right.
To see what they're bringing to the space. You know, because I don't think it's like GMT is one of the largest companies, if not the largest company in wargaming.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And so,
and they would tell you that their highest, you know, in a year they'll sell 2,000 or 3,000 copies of a game.
Right.
They're not selling 30 or 40,000 copies of a game.
No, they're still not Mayfair games or whatever.
But in the war game hobby, $2,000 to $4,000 or copies of one game is a big thing.
Yeah.
That's a lot of games.
And I think bringing in kind of new blood is really going to help to continue propelling that forward and to continue the creative juices flowing as, you know, as time marches on. And I think that's a really exciting trend to see. I think you've got companies, you know, even like a Fort Circle who are doing the same thing.
Yep.
They're courting designers who are up and coming.
I feel like GMT and even Fort Circle, it's like they're creating a bench, right, for a basketball team or a football team. They're creating 7 or 8 or 10 people, courting them, helping them, assisting them, supporting them, with the hope that they're going to create, you know, 4 or 5 games that are going to be winners and they're going to do well. And that there's nothing wrong with that. They're getting with smart people, talented people, helping them, trying to drive them forward. And as they take that leap forward, they're continuing to support them. And ultimately, in the end, we as the consumer win.
Yes.
The better games come out, the more games come out, the more varied games come out. Hex Encounter is not dead. There will always be Hex Encounter designs.
Never will.
No, it's amazing, but it's good to see this other side of the hobby getting some traction. And that youth movement, and I say youth movement at GMT, but it's also, I think, at Fort Circles, you know, Maury Suckling and Tori Lynn, and, you know, Jason's a young guy. Yeah, I don't know how old he is, but he's a young guy and he's got more games in him. And I know they're working on other. Talia Rosen, I think, is another one that they're working with for the Supreme Court game.
And other companies are probably doing this too. It's just that GMT does it very publicly, and I read about it on their blog.
Right.
And they're very open about that kind of thing. So I'm sure there's other companies who are doing that kind of thing as well, just to ensure their futures and things like that. But it's something that's really reassuring to see as well, knowing that, like, it's not going to fall off a cliff in 30 years.
Sure, yeah.
So that's
and
good
it still might. I mean, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? But I don't think so, right? I mean, we're always going to want something to entertain us in our downtime.
Yeah.
Games, board games, war games, online digital games, those are all things that we want to play.
Yeah, everyone's got to retire at some point, but hopefully wargaming continues once the major players do.
When you retire, that's when you're supposed to play all these games that we've acquired, and I don't know what's going to happen.
That's what we tell ourselves.
We finally have the table. We just now need the time. That's the second, which is the harder thing to create. I need a time machine.
Agreed.
But so anyway, the final topic that I had, and then we'll talk about some of our plans for 2024, was that old tired topic of the cost of gaming.
Sure.
You know, costs are going up. Part of that is because of supply chain issues, right? Shipping, production, or at least that's what we're being told, right?
Everything's just gotten more expensive.
Yeah, everything costs more. When I go to Walmart now, we spend almost $180 a week. A year and a half, 2 years ago, we spent $130. And we bought the same stuff, right? There's 4 of us at home. We pack lunches, go blah, blah, blah. But things are more expensive. So all of that has matriculated down. Games are more expensive.
Yep.
Typically, you're going to see a war game, a good war game, you know, some of these $80 to $100, right? If it's got more than 4 counter sheets, it's probably going to be $120.
Yeah. Yeah, and usually if it's 2 maps, it's up at that price
Right.
too, because that's one of the more expensive components to
Well,
make.
and part of the reason for that cost is all those supply chain issues, all of that, etc. But it's also a magnitude issue, right? You only make a couple thousand copies of a game, you're going to pay more per unit than if you did 10,000 copies of that game.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, as a smaller hobby, I'm not sure that's ever going to go away.
No.
We're always going to pay a little higher than maybe some of our Euro friends pay for their games because of units, of numbers.
Although, funnily enough, I think Eurogamers are experiencing that inflation differently. I think those games
Sure.
are expensive, but because everyone's obsessed with bumper components and plastic and all
Miniatures,
this
yeah.
stuff. So it's expensive from that standpoint, whereas we
Right.
get the expensive because there's only so many people who will buy
Yeah.
A Time for Trumpets.
Right.
And it's
That's right here.
10
You can
counter
see
sheets and 5 maps, and like that's not
Yeah.
cheap to make.
Yeah, if they sold 1,500 or 2,000 copies of that, I'd be surprised.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it's a great game. We're going to figure that out in 2024. But cost of gaming, I think you're now talking, I think average cost of a war game is $80. That would be my guess,
Yeah,
right?
I think it's in that 60 to 80,
80
range,
range.
whereas I think before it was in the maybe like 50 to 60 or 50
Yeah.
to 70 range.
And I also think part of it's production's going up.
Yep.
We grabbed that Victory Lost. This is from
This is from
2006. Just 17 years ago. This box is like a folded up
It's like made of paper.
envelope.
Yeah.
I mean, and this cost probably, do you remember how much you paid for it?
I paid for this not very much money because I got it on sale from there.
Okay. So it was probably $60 though on a normal.
Yeah.
And this thing is so flimsy,
Yeah.
it's unreal.
I'm going to sneeze and it's going to fall
Yeah,
apart.
right. But now you pick up the most recent copy of that series,
Victory Awaits.
Victory
It's up there.
Awaits. Well, I'm going to, the box is better, the map's better,
The counter sheets are invariably better as well.
they're just better, right? So we're getting an improving of the quality. And then you've got other games that are just taking that to the next level. The Fort Circles of the world, the VUCA, GMT in many respects. Not for every game they do, but for a good, that North Africa 41, that's a gorgeous game.
Yeah, or even like their levying campaign games.
Oh, they're
That's
amazing.
Mounted stuff, lots of wooden pieces. That's not
great
cheap.
thick cards,
Usually good artwork.
lots
which
of
is very
player aids.
expensive.
Yeah. And it's awesome to see. The monthly update came out yesterday from GMT, and the art on the covers is just so much improving.
Oh yeah, the Seljuk covers.
Yeah, we're no longer, and I'm a fan of history, right? But we're no longer taking a historic picture.
Yeah.
And
then blocking it.
what are we doing there? We're graying it out and putting some pixelization, and I mean, yeah, okay. But that's what was okay 15 years ago,
Yep.
right? I don't think that stands now.
I feel like
It's got to be better.
if I could make the cover, maybe it should be the cover.
Okay, so here's an example. Time of Trumpets. This was 2 years ago.
Yep.
Why is my box backwards? Did you mess with this?
Yes. Secretly at night, I sneak into your house and I reverse all the
take
box
it.
lids.
Is this Antonis Caritas?
Surely it is.
Nope, I think that's a different signature.
Does it say on the back?
Maybe it does. Sorry. Maybe we should do some Jeopardy music. Na 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 na. No, I can't see.
Artists. No.
Gibbler, Semenich, and
Gibbler,
Bradford. But this is an example. This is, I think, an original piece of art. But you look at guys like Antonis Caritas for all those.
Yeah, he does a lot of this.
It's phenomenal. Like the Jerry White solo games, the Air games, Storm over Europe, and
Yeah, Skies Over the
Guys
Reich,
over
that kind of thing.
Britain. Beautiful, right? You don't take a picture, historical picture, that's a great picture, but then gray it out and pixelize it and throw it on the cover. We just don't do that anymore, right?
No.
So that all costs. So you're paying more. Now this has 10 or 12 counter sheets.
This
and
is a big game. Yeah.
this is a $130 game, and it's worth it, but I'm appreciative of that, right? This is a game that we're going to talk about here in a minute. The map on this is Almost a Miracle from Against the Odds magazine. The board on this is just phenomenal.
Oh, that's cool.
It is a long board and thin. It covers most of the eastern seaboard, not the southern theater. But the detail, the beauty, The art and layout of this is just phenomenal. It's just, and that's a game I want to play this year because I've had it for 3 years now. But I'm okay with that, right? I'm okay with good quality. I'm going to pay $20 more. I get it. Lots of these companies are they're minimizing that cost by throwing some of them on Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Compass, I think, has done a good job of throwing games on Kickstarter, and you end up paying $15 or $20 less.
And I think with the way that costs are going up, it's much more prevalent that you will be kickstarting and pre-ordering games.
Right.
Because GMT's P500 prices have always been unbelievably good.
30% lower than their...
Even though games are expensive, their P500 prices are still incredibly good value.
Yeah, as I was looking through the monthly debrief the other day from GMT, it's when you look at the P500 price, it's if you want those games, you have got to P500 that because you're saving 30 to 40%.
Yeah.
It's insane. But I want to point out that I enjoy good quality games.
Yes.
I don't like the flimsy box there that we showed. That's not good.
No.
I'm sorry, this weighs nothing. I'm surprised that didn't like float up. And no offense to MMP, they make good products.
And they're much better now.
But they're much better now because that's what's being demanded.
Yeah.
Legion War Games, great example of a publisher that gets it. Nice looking graphics, good solid box, good components. They get it. They're a small company, but they're charging a little more because of that.
Even then, I remember their games from their early days, and you had to like cut their counter sheets with a knife.
Sure.
Because
you would pull them apart.
They were too well attached to the screws, but they figured that out.
They figured that out.
And now it's not like that at all.
Worthington's another example. Worthington has created a new look for their games, and it's so much better. I've seen some of their early games, and it's so much better.
I think they've really gone through a big rebirth in the last 7, 8, 10 years.
So cost is going to be one of those things we're going to continue to struggle with and deal with, but understand there are pre-orders, there are Kickstarters.
Yeah.
You need to take advantage of those. Don't complain that the game's $120 when you could have got it on Kickstarter for $85. I look at Axis, Empires.
Krieg.
Oh my gosh. And Daisenso. I want that so bad.
Me too.
I just want us to have it.
I emailed
them. I know, but it literally has Daisenso on one side, the Pacific Theater.
It's everything.
Totaler Krieg on the other side, and then it has some new content and scenarios, but it's a $400 game.
It has, yes.
But when you pre-order it, it's $320 or something like that.
And that's
$280.
There's big games like that are almost like the extreme end of that spectrum, but because the people who are going to buy that, they're going to buy it.
Well, no matter what, yeah. And that's great. I want that game very badly.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
But anyway, the cost of games not going anywhere. I think that's enough said from my point. If you want to keep going on it.
No, I don't think so. One of the other big things I want to talk about that we had in 2023 was us discovering and joining Rally the Troops.
Oh my gosh. Don't do yourself a favor. Don't do it.
It is...
Avoid it like the plague.
Rally-the-troops.com. It is a free web-based digital platform to play
rules enforced digital platform,
curated set of war games.
There's about 20 on it, right?
Yes.
Not a lot of Hex and Counter.
No,
although Waterloo just was added a month ago. But they have Levy and Campaign. They have Coin.
They have a lot of Columbia Block War games on there.
It's so good.
Yeah,
so good.
It is totally free.
Yep. Thank you, Tor.
Yes,
for your work.
And he does a lot of the programming himself.
And it's very good.
And I think there's. I don't know if you heard what's coming on there soon.
I didn't.
Plantagenet.
Oh wow.
So yeah, I'll be playing a lot of that when that comes out.
Well, maybe we won't play the physical version if it's coming soon then.
Because
that's one that I still want to play.
That's apparently the next one that's going to be on there. So I'm looking forward to that.
Fair enough. They need to put Space Empires on there.
That would be great. But it's this rules enforced game that you just play. You can play asynchronously. You can play together, live. And so I think at the moment I have about 26 games going.
I have 23.
And it's it's everything from like Andean Abyss to Wilderness War to Votes for Women. I've got
Time of Crisis.
Time of Crisis, a bunch of those. I'm in.
We've done Red Flag Over Paris several times.
One game of Waterloo, just kind of learning it and playing around with it, and I'm doing very badly.
Yeah.
I was doing well, and then it just turned a corner real quick. And they're constantly like putting in a new game. Like I've played Field of the Cloth of Gold a bunch of times, and I would probably never have carved out the time, or we would have played it once.
Don't we have that?
I feel like I might do. I thought that I
bought
did.
That one, yeah.
I can't find it anywhere though.
Okay.
But we would have played it, and we would have played it once or twice, and then that's it. I've played that 35 times.
Oh, no doubt, because it's so easy.
That is
so easy.
That has been a huge addition to my playing time, and it's helped me to go back to Andean Abyss. I've played that over 80 times now.
Yeah. Well, how do you track how many times you've played an individual game?
So every time a game finishes, I log it in Board Game Geek.
Oh, that's
what
right.
I've
You
started
told me
doing.
that. We already, because I'm not going to do that.
No, and no, I don't expect people to do that.
Yeah.
But that it's doing that enabled me to do the Faction Function series on that game.
Right.
Because I'm much more comfortable with it and felt like I can do this. I did the same thing for Wilderness War because I've finished 30 plus games of that now.
Yeah.
And at some point I'll do more of those, but it just enables me to sit with, a few games on there and play those. I think I've played 15 or so games of Nevsky on it. And that's maybe changed how I think about that game and what I am getting out of it and my opinions. And that's really fun to kind of experience and see, and the platform's wonderful.
Yeah.
It's really,
well,
really
it
good.
looks good, and it's easy to interact with, and...
Playing PAX Premier on there in a couple of games of that.
Nobody invites me to those games, Russ and Alexander.
I am not good at that game.
Well, I'm not good at it either. I'm not good at any of the games. I realize that we're good when we play each other.
Yeah, we're at a similar-ish level.
We get on there, I get my ass handed to me often. But that's okay, I enjoy playing, so it's fine. But I'm not there to win every time.
It's a small library of games, but the games are high quality typically, and it's a great way to.
If you haven't discovered it, please discover it. Get on. It's free. It runs. It doesn't even have that many requirements, frankly, for your computer. It's very easy.
No, yeah, because it's web based.
My laptop's not great, and it runs it perfectly.
Yeah, it just
very good.
Sometimes it's a suck on the bandwidth. That's the only thing with it.
I will notice, sometimes I'll play it when we're watching shows on Netflix, and Netflix will wig out a little bit.
If I've got YouTube playing and I'm doing Rally the Troops, YouTube will oh, we're playing this in 480p now. Sorry, lads. But yeah, that's, it's a great platform, and I'm grateful for the hard work that goes into that, because it allows me to experience a couple new games on there, which is some fun, but also to revisit old games, which is going to be a theme coming up here as well. I think. So that was awesome.
Did we cover everything that we wanted in our retrospective?
I think so. Other than looking forward to 2024.
Let's really quick talk about the conventions that we're going to try to go to.
Sure.
Just very briefly. I don't think we're going to try to go to Winterfest in February. We're going back to Basement Con, our friends in St. Louis.
Yep.
We are going to Buckeye Game Fest. The 1st of May. We are not going to WBC this year, unfortunately.
No, I'm out of the country. I'll be in the UK.
I had talked about going, but to be honest, adding another convention early in the year, I think I'm going to have to skip it this year.
Because we're going to try to do SDHC again.
Yep. Well, then I'll go to Gen Con. You'll be out of the country, but I'll go with my brother-in-law, and we'll just go for a couple of days. But then in the fall, I think we're going to San Diego Historicon again. So those are our conventions. That's our schedule this year. That's what we're trying to do.
Yes.
We need to make sure that can happen.
And hopefully maybe throw in Circle.
Oh, yes, CircleCon. How did I forget that?
When is that?
I'll have to go back to my text.
It's in the spring.
It's in the spring, yes.
Spring's going to be very busy.
And it's like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So we literally were going to fly out Thursday night.
Yeah.
Get stuck in Omaha or something, because that's our luck. Show up on Friday at 7 o'clock at night, and then play Saturday, and then come home on Sunday. Yeah. So that's what we're going to do. I'm hoping not get stuck in Omaha, because I don't know why we would go to Omaha.
Because that's what the airlines decided.
Yeah, right. But yeah, so throw in CircleCon. That's our schedule for this year. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully we can get that in.
I've already had people reach out who want to play games with us at some of those things. Yeah. So I'm excited for what we've got going on, even though it looks a bit different from what we normally do.
Sure. All right, our final point of this hour and a half long video, 2 hour long video, is we wanted to talk about, we're going to do some things differently this year.
In 2024.
In 2024. We're going to play new releases.
As we typically do.
We're not going to worry about playing every single new release, though.
No, because doing what we do is there's often a pressure to be like, oh, we got to play this game, or oh, this one's on a timeline, or like, oh, we really want to, like, you know, just something exciting comes, oh, we want to do it, oh. And at times there's things that get pushed to the side, or like we don't get to revisit old games, or things that we might just like want to do,
or games that we've acquired recently that we want to play because we like those systems.
Yeah. So I think in a game, in a calendar year, we'll play probably anywhere from 30 to 40 games.
40 games has kind of been our standard, 40 to 45.
And so the plan this year is we will continue to do that, but we're going to carve some of that time out, and we've picked out a number of games here that are games that we already own, which aren't new.
Older games, yeah.
That we have wanted to play, and we're just going to do them.
They're older games, but they check out.
Yeah, and older is relative.
Yeah.
It's for some of these titles.
So let's go ahead and just, maybe you grab one.
Yeah.
So we're going to try to play one of these a month.
Yes.
We have chosen 12 games, so we're going to try to do one a month.
Yes.
That way we can get these 12 games in by the end of the year.
And it won't dilute as much what we do normally.
Still do 2 or 3 new games a month. We'll still get through 35 new games, and that'll be great. So I'm excited about this.
Yeah, I'm especially because everything we've got here is either very well regarded, or I hope that it will be.
Yes.
So first up,
yeah, I'm not sure we picked crap games.
No.
Every game we've chosen, I've heard good things from a lot of people.
Yeah, agree.
Not every game, most of them.
And some of these, it's like, how have you not played this? Yeah, well,
it's embarrassing.
That's how.
It's embarrassing.
We're carving out time to do this.
Yeah.
So this is a little bit of a shelf of shame.
I'm a fraud. I haven't played Normandy 44.
Yeah. Normandy 44. Right. This is a classic. Been around for a while.
We love Mark Simonich games.
Love the 40X.
Love the 40X series. Love World War II. This hits all the checks all the boxes for us. I don't like the cover though. I'm just going to say.
Sure, it's old. You know, a little 1.5-inch box.
What's the date on that? Keep talking.
I'm very excited for this. I really want
20. This is 21, but this was like a 3rd or 4th edition or whatever.
Yeah, I think this is from 2010 originally.
Got it.
So yeah, I'm very excited to play this. Again, it comes very well regarded. People love it. It's one map. Yeah. It's one sitting, hopefully. So
this one, I would imagine we would do sometime in June-ish.
Yeah, right. We might do these thematically. That would be pretty cool too. But yeah, Normandy 44
very much looking forward to
games.
that. Another one from GMT that we'll be playing this one in December-ish. Maybe, right? Time for Trumpets. Time for Trumpets from GMT. This is a monster war game, right? Probably the reason it has not been on our table is we didn't have a table big enough.
Yes.
We now have a table big enough. This is like, I think it's 4 maps, 2,000 counters, 12 counter sheets, right? 5 full-size maps. I'm not sure we're going to do the campaign game.
I don't think that's realistic.
There are smaller scenarios that I think we're going to try first, and we're going to give it a shot. I got to clip it. Hasn't been clipped. I'm embarrassed to say that. But A Time for Trumpets from Bruno Sinigaglio. I like saying his name, Sinigaglio. Sinigaglio. Dominic DiCacco. Sorry. Anyway, Time for Trumpets. Very much looking forward to that one.
Yeah. I'm
had that for a couple
very
years.
interested in what that game has to offer.
Yes.
Very curious.
I've heard good things about it.
So the flimsiest box and war gaming.
Talk about that, yeah. It's like an envelope. I mean, literally, it's like an envelope.
But this is a victory lost from Multiman Publishing. This is
the Redbox series or the...
Yeah.
I don't know.
What they call it? No.
Well, the new one from VUCA, they're calling it, I found this out, they're referring to it as the Fierce Fight series.
So yeah,
this is not the Fierce Fight series, but it uses the same series and the same designer.
Yes.
Tetsuya Nakamura.
He's, funnily enough, not
Japanese guy, yeah.
But, so this is also one of those games where we know the series, we know how it plays.
And it is a classic.
Yes.
I'm going to say it fairly, I think it's very easy to... Very playable.
Yes. This is a very easy to
This covers
system.
Kursk, right? It's Ukraine. So it would involve potentially Kursk, right?
Yeah, I don't know for
Okay.
sure.
Anyway, Crisis
There
in the
is
Ukraine.
Not a lot of good details on the
42-43. So it's as Barbarossa has shifted
this
and
is
the
real.
Soviets
This
are
is real
punching back.
mid-war type stuff, and again, love the series. Be
Yeah.
easy to play. I was able to get this on the cheap from MMP. They had it on sale at WBC, and it was like we got to get to it at some point.
Sure.
And so we're just going to carve out time.
I'm excited. So you'll notice a trend. A lot of these are really good Hex and Counter war games.
Yeah, funnily enough, that's just kind of how that turned out.
I'm going to go ahead and just do this one. I already talked about it a little bit, but Against the Odds magazine put out Almost a Miracle a couple of years ago. I think I bought this during COVID. So I think one of the afternoons I was sitting around on my laptop just searching when I should have been working. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to get it because it was on sale. American Revolutionary War game, the Northern Theater of the war, Hex and Counter. It just looks really good. David Jones is the designer. Mark Mahaffey is the...
or is it areas?
It is, I think it's areas.
But it's lots of small areas.
Oh, yeah. It's huge.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, and
A great cover, by the way.
oh, yeah.
That's come on.
They do a good job
That's a nice little painting.
I mean, the two maps. So it's areas. So it's area movement, not hex.
They have a Prisoners of War track.
They do, yes. Right there, Prisoners of War. So very excited. It has a built-in custom counter tray. I just need to clip it, and you can see I've done nothing with this.
But we played a couple of little games, and those are...
Yeah, we've and I actually have the other one, Tarleton's Quarter, which is the Southern Theater. And if we really like this and enjoy it a lot...
Is it the same system? I didn't know
Yep,
that.
same system
cool.
and the same layout and everything. So if we enjoy this one when we play it, maybe we'll play that around July, give or take. But there you go. Almost a Miracle.
So next up we have Dien Bien Phu from Legion War Games. This is the Kim Kanga classic. Oh, say
like
that 10 times.
King Cat. I like that, how you said that. This is one people ask us all the time. Have you played Dien Bien Phu?
And they love it. They're like, oh, it's amazing.
And we haven't, so... And Legion, we love Legion War Games.
So yeah, this is French Indochina War, where it was the French and they're holed up at
Dien
Bien
Bien
Phu,
Phu, and just get blitzed.
being assaulted by the Viet Minh. So I'm very excited because it has such a good
This was in, what, the
reputation.
1950s?
Yeah, 53.
53.
So yeah.
March through May, so maybe this is one we'll play in.
Maybe earlier in the
Early
year.
in the spring.
We're going to have to line these
Yeah, we
up
will.
and,
We'll have to actually look at that.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm very excited for this one. If you don't know Legion War Games as well, where have you been? Go on their website because they have a ton of games.
We've played and reviewed many Maori Wars,
and they just cover topics that you don't normally have lots of games on.
Demyansk Shield, just great games.
Yeah. So I'm very excited for this. This is the second edition through Legion War Games.
And it's just
looks
a
great.
Beautiful looking game too. Great production. This is probably the one on the list that is probably the least heralded. Would be my. Damn it! You have come to my house, sir. You have sabotaged me. I don't know that I cared that much when I first. This is Ted Racer, right?
Yep.
So this is the Fall of the Third Reich from Compass Games. I got this on a sale about 8 years ago. Yeah. And I clipped
had it for a long time.
And I brought it to your house.
Is it clipped?
It's clipped. It's ready to go. And it's ready to go. Now, it doesn't have a tray. I was a barbarian.
What is
man.
this?
I was a barbarian. But it really doesn't have that many counters.
Look at that mixed faction bag.
But they don't have... Anyway, I was new. Really looking forward to this one, Fall of the Third Reich. It literally is like, I think, Battle of the Bulge on, right?
Yeah,
through 1945.
It's July 43 onwards.
There you go. So very excited about it. Ted Racer, it's a different system. I'm looking forward to it. I've had it. It's been on my shelf. I didn't sell it or give it away because I want to play it, and we're going to play it.
How about that? That's been on the show for a long time.
Yes.
Next up, we have Ardennes 44.
Back in the games from the category of how dare you have not played this.
We played a lot of Bulge games, just not this one.
Yeah.
So this one is...
Third edition.
Is also clipped and ready to go. And it's just one of those games that's like...
I mean, look at that.
Classic.
Look at that map. Simonich is just so... He's just so good with his maps. Yeah. That's a lot of green, though. I hope the counters aren't green. Oh, look, they're green. Yeah, That's something we always notice.
Look at that
But
cover.
that's another. This is actually. So that's like rotoscoping? Isn't that what that's
I
called?
don't
or
know
something?
what it's called, but this is a classic Roger McGowan style cover.
And we like Roger. This is just old style graphics. It just is.
Yeah.
It just is.
Yeah, it's had that cover for a very long time.
Yeah. Arden 44, we're going to definitely give it a play.
Maybe we'll play this one in December.
Well, but we already said we might be playing Time for
Oh,
Trumpets.
we've got 2 Bulge games.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Well, one of them will be a November game.
Yep. But anyway, I'm really looking forward to that because those are games I want to check off my list and say, yeah, we've actually played that. Go ahead and grab Brazen Chariots.
Sure,
'cause they're
sure.
the same system.
You
right?
know, this is a February game.
Ooh, I need to get it clipped because it's not clipped. All right, Baptism by Fire, Brazen Chariots, both BCS, correct?
Yes.
Very excited about this. We have played one BCS game. It was Error and I freaking love that
And
game.
it was really, really good.
And I cannot wait. We bought these, I think, at the same time, didn't we?
No.
You bought this for me at WBC. You got this.
I bought
beforehand.
it from VGG before we even played Aracore, and it
Okay.
was just sat on the shelf,
Got it.
and it was just massive, and I don't really know why I bought it.
So this is the Battle of Kazarine Pass, or Kazarine Pass in North Africa. What's...
This is Tobruk, 1941.
Oh, so they're both North Africa. So there you go. We are playing these.
Yes.
No doubt. This one says medium complexity. What's that one say?
Medium as well.
Okay, they're both medium.
But this one is 4 maps and much larger, I think.
Got it. Very excited about... I need to get this clip. So this is a... You said February.
This one covers a lot of the different battles of
Look at
Tobruk.
those cool counter trades.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of which,
Who's that from?
so I have the Brazen Chariots counter trace set from the company is called Cube for Me, and this is you go on and you buy the Brazen Chariots set.
Do they have one for Baptism by Fire?
I don't know.
Okay.
But this was just big, and it was only in bags, and it was awful.
Oh, yeah.
So I picked this up. It's all the different counters, and these are extremely tight, well done counters trays. Absolutely love that company. If they have one.
One counter sheet.
Oh, and those are nice big ones as
Yeah,
well.
one counter sheet and 2 maps. So
That's almost Aracourt-like.
that's not bad. Or maybe I'm missing a counter sheet.
Hope not.
Or maybe I have there's 2 counter sheets.
Okay.
There's 2 counter sheets and 2 maps.
But these are the units. It's half a counter sheet of units. Everything else is admin markers.
I hate these little dice.
Those are MMP
I
dice.
just don't like them.
Classic.
Okay, we're going to play these. February maybe, and what did we decide?
Some other time. This is the desert, so we'll just play it in the summer because it's hot.
The desert. All right, grab...
So next up we have the second non-hex encounter war game.
Card-driven game.
Yeah, so this is a CDG point-to-point movement.
Based on Paths of Glory.
Yeah,
right?
uses
Same
that
system.
Same systems. This is Crusade and Revolution from Compass Games. And is this the...
This is the new edition.
second
so I think
edition,
second edition.
second edition.
They had a Kickstarter on this like a year ago, yearish ago, year and a half.
Yeah, this is... it's massive. It's mounted maps. This box is both very large comparatively.
Yeah, I'm not sure why that's...
Kind of awkward, but it's because the
Yeah.
maps are so big.
Ah, there you go.
And they're folded only twice each instead of the normal, however many times they do it. It looks wonderful. It has an incredible reputation. It's the whole of the Spanish Civil War.
I did an interview with David on this new second edition.
I very
It's on the
desperately want to play this.
Me
just
too.
because we haven't played much Spanish Civil War.
Yeah.
I think it's a topic that's interesting. And
Yeah.
when I asked, everyone was like, "This is the game." I'm like, "Okay."
Nice.
So it looks amazing.
Looking forward to that one. My final one is a good old standard combat series game.
Yep.
Day of Days. We will not be playing all 5 maps at once.
No.
We are going to pick a small scenario and just get it to the table. This is Normandy, 1944, World War II. You don't get much better.
And it's the whole hog.
It is the whole hog. And we love the SCS.
Yeah, SCS
series.
is eminently playable.
Very good.
This has a lot of counters and a lot of stuff in it too, so it's a bit more intense than some of the other ones because it's so big. Lastly, I've got War and Peace from One Small Step. Although this has been through a number of different iterations in different companies, I believe. This is the 2020 4th edition.
And this is from One Small Step.
Yes.
Can I be honest?
Yeah.
This is one of the games I'm least excited to play. But we'll play it.
Yes.
I will play it so that I can say that we played it.
See, I am excited to play this, but I
it's
just
not
finished
the
reading
subject.
the book.
It's not. I've heard good things and I've heard bad things, and I think some of the experiences we've had with the designer and their games.
That's fair.
There's some bad things, but there's
Mark
also some good
McLaughlin.
things.
So,
Mark McLaughlin.
My understanding of this game is that, like, the scenarios are good, but when you do the linking campaigns is when it falls apart.
Got it.
So in my brain, I don't want to do the whole thing.
We'll just pick
I frankly just
like
want to do
or...
the 1812 Russian campaign.
There you go. Yeah.
And we'll call it good.
And they're so, look at those counters.
Yeah,
they're
the little ones.
Tiny. It's so cute.
But it's just been around for a while. For a number of different iterations, people say.
And you finished this book recently.
And that's part of why I'm like, I want to play this to see.
Isn't that like a 1,200-page book?
It was 1,358 pages.
And isn't it mainly a love story between Josephine and Napoleon?
No.
Okay. I've never read it. So.
No. Indeed,
right.
Napoleon is one of the more minor characters in the book.
Okay. Can I admit something to you that I haven't?
Sure.
I've seen Napoleon.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
What did you think of it?
I don't want to say on camera.
I've heard that it's crap.
I enjoyed it.
Okay.
Right? Is it amazing? No. Too long.
Sure.
Probably a lot of ahistorical stuff. Too much love story.
Sure.
That's my opinion. The best part was the first 30 minutes when they were like his first battle. It was just cool.
Were the battle scenes good?
I thought they were very good. I
think
thought they looked good.
That's what I
thought
care about.
The uniforms were great. I just think, I remember Waterloo and I'm like, I know this is not what happened. I'm not even a Napoleonics guy, and I'm like, this just is not the way it really
Was it the
happened.
bit where he was on a horse leading a cavalry charge?
No comment. No comment.
Yeah.
And actually, Joaquin Phoenix, boring.
Really?
He was not great in this one.
Because he's normally such a good
I know.
actor.
I did not like his performance.
In his own way.
Yep. I don't know. It just, I'm glad I saw it with my wife. We went out on a date, and I was like,
did she like it?
She liked being with me. Let's say that.
She liked the popcorn.
And she liked the Josephine and the Napoleon loves crap.
Okay.
Which I could do without.
Yeah, the reviews were not good.
I would say
I got to it.
I think everybody needs to see it.
I'll watch it. I'll definitely watch it when it comes on streaming.
Can you just wait for streaming? Wait for streaming.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it's so important that you need to go, but it was grand. I'm going to be honest. It was grand seeing it on the screen.
Yeah.
So, and we haven't been to a movie for a while, but anyway, War and Peace.
Yes.
We're going to. So those are 12 games that we are committed to playing in 2024.
And they're just
that are not new releases.
They'll just go throughout the year. We'll play one a month.
What I'm going to do, I'm going to take a picture of all these. I'm going to create a schedule based on I think the dates are important. We'll create a schedule and we'll get those ready and we'll play those.
Yeah.
And then we'll still play our 2 or 3 new games a month. We'll still get 35 or 40 new games in.
But we just want to do some of this stuff.
I just want to play some of these.
Because
they've been on my shelf. I want to play them.
Yeah, some of them for a long time. And
I bought this one like a year after we started the channel, and it's clipped and ready to go. We just need an opportunity.
And it's just, if we don't commit to doing it, this will never happen.
Yeah.
And so you came up with that idea, and I'm like, absolutely,
sure.
I'm 100% in, because I want to do this kind of thing too.
I have good ideas from time to time.
But
often.
it's... But I'm afraid to cut into our other time. It's like, no.
Yeah, we'll just do it.
It's
just what's going to happen. So I think we also will do a Guns of August event, but I'm not doing 12 games. We're going to do 2 or 3. That's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
And we've got Knock Paris. Got to be a game that we play.
Yes.
It's got to be.
Yeah, I like to play that, and I like to play Death of an Army as well.
And I would also like to play the Ben Madison Death in the Trenches. Those are the 3 games we're going to play.
Okay.
So commit it, book it. That's going to be August. So no new games in August. We're going to play one of these games in August, and then we're going to play those 3 games in August.
Okay.
Nope. Stop. Nope.
Yep.
Stop. What were you going to say?
We have...
Cambrai?
No, we do have that, but we do have...
Rock of the Marne.
Great War Commander.
Okay.
Which is Combat Commander World War I.
Yes, we can add that one in. That would be awesome. It is I will allow it.
That's just a game that I've had on a shelf for a while.
Sure, and we want to play it.
They just did a second edition of it, and I'm like...
I love Combat Commander. In fact, we got a new Combat Commander product the other day. Island Hopping. Battle Pack. Very nice.
Yeah.
Pacific. So cool. So yeah, that's our plan. The convention plan, the gaming plan. We'll do everything else that we normally do. The blog's going to continue. The YouTube channel's going to continue. We've hit 17,400 subscribers, which is a big milestone for us.
Yeah.
We're over 1,200 videos. We
crazy.
are almost 4 million views, I think, on the YouTube channel in about 6.5 years, give or take. We're at about, how many million views on the, 2 million views on the blog?
Probably.
Yeah. So anyway, we're going to continue players aiding and doing what we do.
Yes.
And I like my new shirt. I really do enjoy this long sleeve t-shirt.
Those shirts are available from
They are.
Teespring, which there's a link right down below.
I'm very
buy
cold.
all sorts of t-shirts, long sleeve shirts, there's sweaters, hoodies, all that kind of stuff.
I'm very cold in the basement today, or in the bunker. Sorry.
But yeah, I think that's a good synopsis of what we've done, things that we've got, little plans going forwards as well. And some of that stuff we'll have curveballs thrown at us, or we might do extra things.
No, there's going to be
new stuff.
There will be no curveballs with this stuff.
With this stuff, I don't think.
Yeah.
But who knows what else might happen?
Yeah, right.
But I'm looking forward to 2024. 2023 was a great year of gaming. I played a lot of games that I really loved.
I agree.
Both new and old.
Agreed.
And again, the advent of Rally the Troops was a huge addition to what I was doing gaming-wise as well. That was really cool.
Yeah.
And I look forward to more from that platform as well.
And thank you to all of you. Thanks to our friends. Thanks to the people that say kind things to us. Thanks to the people that say not so kind things to us. I'm okay with that as well. I love getting made fun of. It's one of my favorite things.
Yes.
My 14 and 12-year-old daughter make fun of me all the time, and it's okay. I wear it like a badge of honor.
Yes.
I'm a dad. So
I
like criticism. Bring it.
Thanks for sticking with us throughout the year.
Absolutely.
And we'll hopefully see you throughout the whole of next year as well. We appreciate you very much for tuning in. I've been Alexander for theplayersaid.com.
And I'm Grant.